Today's segment of Oh Brother is sponsored by Organic Harvest Market and Nutrition Center, Birmingham's largest family-owned natural foods market. Visit them on the web at www.orgharvest.com.
All my brothers are so southern, they'll get up for you for nothing. Take this brother I've known for many.
We're starting a new week from the new cold Brandon Brown and the Country Western Delight Studios. It's a little chilly.
Yeah, winter is not here yet, but it feels like it.
Well, it feels like it. It was almost freezing this morning.
Was it not? Technically, it didn't get all the way down to freezing.
I have not heard 35.
Yeah, it's
So
a little
I'm not
chilly.
sure.
It's nice, though.
Either way, you're listening to Oh Brother. I'm Will Lochamy along with Reed Lochamy. It's a new week. Like I said, we're coming to you from the Brandon Brown and the Country Western Delight Studios. You can find the show at iTunes or at ohbrotherradio.com. Of course, you can email the show at ohbrotherradio@gmail.com.
Did you mention the Facebook? Yeah, Facebook fan page.
Find us on Facebook. We got a fan page. And actually, we're going to have a guest this coming Thursday.
Yeah.
Who is someone who wrote in.
Via Facebook, yeah, that's
Right.
right. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, and don't forget, last week was Facebook fan page week, where we were going to get our numbers up from about 434 fans on Facebook,
Right, up to
all the way up to 500.
8 million.
And sure enough, we got all the way up to 446.
Nice. Good job, folks.
12.
You big jerks.
Wow.
We know how many people listen to the show, people.
Hundreds.
It's not like you can pretend you're not listening.
Yep.
Okay, Reed, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're among other things.
Couple of things.
All right.
Because Monday, as everyone knows, is when we do our to discuss. Some people have a to-do list. We have a to discuss
Yeah,
list.
things that we want to talk about.
Right.
I bought a new house, Reed, a month or two ago.
We went over there last night. It's very nice.
And thanks. And like 6 days after we moved in, as expected,
Yes.
the AC goes out. The
That
AC
was-
unit.
yeah.
And here's the deal. I had a home warranty, right? Which is awesome because they're
That
going
is
to pay
awesome.
for it.
Yeah.
But the unit was so old and everything that went
How
along with it
old was it?
Well, 18 years.
Yes.
And it was so old that they had to replace it, but they couldn't just replace that. They had to replace everything. My furnace, everything is new.
Whole new
So
system,
I've got
HVAC.
a whole new HVAC system. And it's awesome. It's in. You felt it last night.
I really did. It's very nice. And I'm going to tell you what, you are super lucky because I know for the month that you went without
Yeah, I was
air
going to say,
conditioning.
there was a month when it was
Yeah.
hot outside.
And
with
I
no
know it
AC.
seemed like, oh, poor Will, bad luck. But let me tell you something. You don't get much luckier than buying like a $400 home warranty, and next thing you know, it winds up being worth about $12,000.
Well,
which is
we
what
knew
happened to
when
you.
we had the inspection done by Durrell Nelson.
That's right, Durrell, one of our favorites.
Yeah, he said, "Look, you just have days left on this." He said, "You got to get it serviced and you got to get your home warranty." And sure enough, 6 days. After
When
we bought
Durrell
the house.
says something, you take it serious.
and I did, and so now
Yeah.
we got all new stuff. Now, with this said, Reed,
Yes.
for the first 3 or 4 days that the units weren't working, I didn't think there was anything wrong with the units.
Right.
I thought it was the dang thermostat. And you know why? Because it was one of these fancy pants, touchpad, like touchscreen,
Yes.
programmable thermostats.
Now,
these,
will you-
not
It's supposed to help you save
Yeah,
energy.
exactly,
Because you can
exactly.
program it. You don't have to do anything with the thermostat. It automatically changes during the day to whatever is
To
most
make me
reasonable.
crazy.
Now,
To make me crazy.
Now, I noticed you seem to have a lot of anger about these thermostats, but
I
correct
do.
me if I'm wrong. Was it not about a year ago when you yourself took out an old, basic, easy-to-use one and put one of these very types in your old house? Didn't you do that?
thinking this is a smart idea. I've heard this is a smart idea.
And
No,
yet-
that was the beginning of the end for me with these
Oh,
things.
boy.
I never learned how to use that one.
As a
Never,
matter of fact,
ever.
you now rent that house, and your renters have called you to come out
to
and
complain
try to
and to show them how to use it,
give
and
a
I couldn't.
tutorial.
And I couldn't do it, so I ripped the dang thing out and put another simple
Did
one
you
in.
really?
I really did.
I didn't know that.
Took it out, put another simple one in, and that's how a thermostat should be. One where you've got cold, off, heat,
That's right.
and then fan on or auto
That's right.
or off,
Yep.
and then an up and down. And I just wanted to tell me how cold
Just
or hot
that.
it is in the house.
You know, Elizabeth, my wife, her parents, when we go visit them, they have one of those fancy ones, and I'll tell you, it's a mystery. No matter how many times we
Told
go
you.
there, we can never
Yep.
figure out. And what you do is you just press buttons until it seems like something has happened.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Me crazy.
does,
but
it
no
does.
longer. At my rental house now, I've got a simple one, and at my new house,
You got him to put in a simple one.
listen, when they were coming, I said,
like it.
listen, I said, when you come out,
Don't
even
give me
if
that
I have
crap.
to pay the extra, which I didn't, thank goodness, thank you, home warranty company. They put in a very simple one that works great.
You know, the only thing I'll say about the simple kind, and I'm a big fan of the simple ones, I'm with you, is that it is, unfortunately, a little easy to accidentally bump into that thing. And next thing you know, and this has happened in my house, is that you've been running your heat at 80 degrees for like 2 days.
Because you bumped into it?
Yeah, because like if you're walking down the hall.
I'm not talking about a round dial-up.
Oh, that's
one.
what I've got.
Seriously? You got like from the 50s?
It's the best kind there is, except for when you
got it for
into
like your 10th birthday, didn't you?
No, it was. It came with the house that I purchased.
I'm not talking about that. I'm still talking about an
one.
electronic digital one.
Oh.
But just where it's just up and down.
Oh,
There's
I
no
see.
programming it.
Yeah, okay.
I was going to say, where is he
I
going
still
with
like the
this?
dial one.
Why would I bump into my digital thermostat?
It's a funny story because not long after we moved into this house, where I live now or whatever, we had some friends over, and it was during the winter. It was very chilly, and our house, like the windows,
There's
like
no
air
surprise. Reed's house is either incredibly cold in the wintertime or incredibly hot in the summer.
That's true. And so what happens, we had some friends over, and they left, and like 2 days later, we noticed, hey, our heat's on 80.
Yeah.
And it was one of those awkward situations where you're like, I need to talk to my friend about this. And so finally I confronted him. I was like, listen. I was like, dude, what's up with you changing my heat to 80?
Probably because they were getting sick.
And he was like, I didn't do that. And I was like, look, you don't have to lie about it. I was like, just be honest with me because and we ran it on 80 for you probably cost me $300 or something like that. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, whatever. And it was real awkward. He's like, man, I didn't do it. And I was like, I can't believe you'd lie to me about this.
And really, you just bumped into it.
Of course, later we realized, oh, wait a second. We just bumped into it.
You had just bumped
It was awkward, yeah.
I mean, I don't mind simplifying things with a simple digital thermostat read, but I don't want to go back to the times of slavery and get one like you've got.
You know what I'm
I don't mind
do.
women voting, Reed.
No. And slavery is certainly used to be popular here on the East Coast, but not anymore. One of the things what I may have to consider doing is get one of those little plastic things that covers, like they have in the school.
Sure.
You have to get that
to keep
cover.
the kids
That's
from.
right, yeah.
All right.
Well, there's one other thing on our to discuss list, and we want to mention this just briefly. And I think you and I know what it is because we talked about it earlier. It's this new show on ABC called Modern Family. Now, listen, when there's a new television show, my normal reaction is like, I don't want to mess with this. And another good example, 30 Rock.
Yeah, it took me 2 seasons.
One of the best shows that there. I mean, maybe even as good as Arrested Development. 30 Rock.
Well, that's
is.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Modern Family. The reason you and I believe, has started watching it from
Yes.
episode 1 is because we learned our lessons with Arrested Development.
We were slow to the
and then with 30 Rock.
We were behind. I missed the first 2 seasons of The Office.
I missed the first
That's
season.
right. Yeah. Okay, so Will, give me your impressions of this new show, Modern Family.
It's very Arrested Development-like. It's kind of the same documentary style.
Yeah, there's no laugh track.
No laugh track.
And and it's kind of like The Office in that they sit down and have interviews with the characters.
That's right. So, yeah, you're right.
like
It's
The
almost a
Office.
mixture of The Office and Arrested Development kind of. I guess Arrested Development because it's the family. It's a very awkward family
And
setting.
I think the writing is similar. And the reason we're talking about this is because here's a good show, I think. It's a show that's got a lot of potential, and I hope people will start watching it because I don't want it to go the way of Arrested Development and be, canceled after only 3 seasons. I will say this. I don't think it's perfect yet. It reminds me a lot of watching the very first season of The Simpsons, where you could tell, hey, this is a great show, but it wasn't perfect. Like, they had to work on some things. I think Modern Family's got a few little problems, but I think they're going to work them out. I think it's worth people watching.
All of my favorite shows are like that. If you go back and watch the first season, it's never like it is now.
I
South
think the
Park,
only exception
Family
is Arrested
Guy,
Development.
Andy Griffith. The Andy Griffith shows
Really?
like that. Oh, yeah.
Huh.
Andy, the character he played was
Who?
definitely...
Andy?
Sheriff Taylor, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Was different that first season than he became. He was way more happy-go-lucky, more dramatic kind of.
Interesting. Yeah. Which, of course, you don't need when you have Don Knotts playing Barney Fife.
Correct.
You don't need anyone else to fulfill that role.